final stone on the way. A chance they may never get again.
There is no sterner test in curling than the trials.
You need the 4 foot. You need the 4 foot.
Come on, guys!
It is, without doubt, the hardest event to win in the sport.
You got to carry it to the 4, to the 4, to the 4, and
4-0. 9 of the world's best teams battling it out for the right to wear Canadian colors in Beijing in February. At the Brier or Scotties, the gap between the best teams and the rest can be evident, but not at the trials.
Yes! Yes! Hard! 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 He's going! He's going! He's going!
There are those who have won this event before. Veterans looking for another trip to the Olympics. And there are newcomers hoping to break through and say they are Olympians. Every team is a great one, capable of winning it all. At this level, there are no easy games, no easy ends, no simple shots.
Got a lick off and underneath. Got to go. Oh, and it backs up.
A missed call, the wrong weight, a rock that rolls an inch too far can mean the end of 4 years of preparation and hard work.
Looking at making the double. And she stuffed it, and it spins away.
The pressure can be immense. The nerves tingling right from the first slide.
Chance for the win. Brad Jacobs.
Whichever team wins this event will know they've done it by taking on the best, the very best, and have earned the right to play for Canada on sport's grandest stage.
Run it back. Touch it up.
Tim Hortons Curling Trials, draw one, back-to-back Scotties champion Carrie Einarson and her rink facing the top-ranked team in the world, the Tracy Fleury rink. First end, Fleury's last without hammer, facing a couple, and this is a beauty. Makes the hit and rolls over, taps the other red, and that is shot Rocque. That was a stolen point in the end, and it is 1-zip Fleury. Third end now tied at 1. Einarson facing one with her last without hammer. And such an unlucky break as her rock picks, knows it, and that rock sails right through. Fleury made the draw for 2, and it is 3-1. Let's skip ahead to the 7th. Fleury on top 4-2 after Fleury missed a blank attempt and settled for 1 in the 6th. Her last without hammer. A chance to sit multiple and put the force on. Just grazes the red guard. Einarson would go on and draw for the deuce, and it's tied at 4 with 3 ends to go. 8th end, Skip Stones. Einarson's first without hammer. Facing a couple, eyeing the double takeout and get out of some trouble. And what a great shot by Einarson. That led to a blank, and it remains 4-4. 9th end, Einarson's last without hammer. Facing a couple, looking for a great draw and take the end away from Fleury. But it doesn't come over quite enough, and that leaves the door open for Fleury to pop a 3 and take full command. So Fleury eyeing the big score with hammer.
Here we go. McCush, Fife now. Get it by, sure enough. Where's this going to go? Push it through, and it goes.
And Fleury scores 3. They go on to defeat the Einarson rink, 7-4, the final. Tim Hortons Curling Trials, draw 2, Brad Gushue, who won Olympic gold in 2006. His rink taking on defending Brier champion team, Brendan Bottcher. Third end, Gushue up 1-zip. His last without hammer, eyeing down the steel, and this is a beauty as he makes the double tap, and Gushue is sitting shot rock. So now Bottcher eyeing the double raise takeout and bring that red rock on the left side of the button in for shot stone.
Yellow on the yellow on the yellow. Hopefully save the red. There it is, tap, tap.
Good shot.
Oh, and that'll do.
Bottcher with a pistol, scores 1, and it's tied at 1. 6th end, Bottcher down 2-1. Bottcher with hammer, a chance for a deuce. The hit and stick. Sneaks it by the guard, makes the hit, it avoids the jam in the back, and that is a pair. They take the 3-2 lead on Gushue. To the 7th, Bottcher's first without hammer, eyeing down the double. And this is a great shot from Bottcher as he makes it. The end went on to blank, and it remains 3-2 for Bottcher. To the 8th we go. Bottcher's last without hammer. Looking for the double on the yellows, and Bottcher with another dandy, and that puts the pressure on Gushue as Team Bottcher looks for the steal. So now Gushue needs a good piece of the bun for one, and oh, that is so nice from Gushue as it taps the Bottcher stone back and sits there for the single point. It's 3-3. Final end we go. Team Gushue down 4-3. Third stones. Team Gushue's Mark Nichols hits first, eyeing to angle in his own, and that is really good by Nichols, and Team Gushue is sitting one. So now let's go to Gushue with hammer. A chance to win it. Just make that red rock go away, and Gushue converts. They score 3 in the final end and open up the trials with a victory. 6-4, the final. Draw 3 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. Rachel Homan rink facing Team Krista McCarville. Both teams looking to get in the win column. After McCarville gave up a steal of 1 in the first, second and third stones, Kendra Lilly with a dandy. A great run back ends up McCarville rink sitting shot rock. They would get a pair in the end, and the team from Thunder Bay leads 2-1. Fourth end we go, tied at 2, and more from Lilly. The McCarville rink already sitting 3, and Lilly with a really great freeze, and the McCarville team looking for a big end. They are line 4. So now let's skip ahead to Homan's last without hammer, in tons of trouble, facing 4 and needs a big time shot. Gets the granite moving, and when it's all said and done, it's not a bad result with McCarville sitting just the pair. So now McCarville for 3 points, needs the 8-foot, able to chip it off the red, and that curls in there as the McCarville rink goes on top, 5-2. Fifth end, McCarville's last without hammer, facing 1 after a great tap back by Homan. Eyeing the Rays takeout, and McCarville makes it. That forces Homan to just a single point, and it is 5-3 at the break. Move ahead to the 9th, McCarville team up 6-5. A chance for a couple to go up 3 coming home. Needs the lid, but that comes in a tad heavy and goes right by. The McCarville rink settles for a single. It is 7-5. Final end we go. McCarville's last without hammer, trying to put this thing away. Makes the hit on the red, and it comes across, and when the granite settles, it's McCarville sitting 3. So Homan needs the very, very difficult triple takeout and stick around for the deuce. It just might not even be there. And she cannot make it. The Homan rink drops to 0-2. Team McCarville is in the win column. They take this one 9-5, the final. Tim Hortons Curling Trials, draw 4. Brad Gushue and his rink taking on Team Kevin Cooey, both 1-0 in the event. First end, Gushue's last without hammer, trying to come off their own and kick away the Cooey shot rock, and that is great from Gushue and sitting buried. That was the stolen point in the end. Gushue rink would steal the first 2 ends. Third end, Cooey with hammer, sitting 1, but a draw opportunity for 2. Needs a huge chunk of the 4-foot.
Help it over now. Needs to just dig in. How good is that?
That's amazing.
What a team shot that was. Cooey scores a pair. It's tied at 2. Fifth end, Gushue leading 3-2, but in some big trouble, facing 3 with his last without hammer. Needs the hit and roll, and that is so good from the 2005 Trials winner and 2006 Olympic winner. And just like that, Gushue sitting 1. So now Cooey eyeing the Rays takeout and get multiple points. But oh, runs it right by, and Gushue, after his beauty, steals a point. It's 4-2 at the break. 6th end, Cooey in some trouble, looking for the hit and roll and not give up another steal. Nudges the yellow, but that ends up not being shot stone. 4 of the 5 points stolen for Gushue in the game, and it's 5-2. 8th end, Gushue with hammer, leading 5-3, facing 1, looking to pick that red rock away and get a couple of points, and Gushue converts. It's 7-3 for the Gushue team with a couple ends to go. 9th end, third stones, Gushue's Mark Nichols trying to get it through the fort and make the takeout on the red rock, and look at that, what a shot. Nichols makes it. Gushue Rink would go on to win it, improving to 2-0 at the trials.
Draw 5 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. Jennifer Jones looking to make it a 3-0 start, taking on Laura Walker's rink. In the third, Team Walker up 2-1. It's Team Jones with shot rock. Walker's last without hammer. Terrific out-turn pick. Wipes out a pair of red stones and gets shot rock in the process. So Jones now with hammer, facing 1, but comes up light on the draw. It's a steal of 1. Team Walker jumps out to a 3-1 lead. Skip to the 8th, Walker up 5-4. Third stones, Caitlin Laws with her second, gets it by the guard, makes both yellow stones disappear. What a shot from Laws. And check this out, Team Walker calling a timeout. Their skip trips over her own rock, nearly takes a tumble in the process, but able to stay on her feet. So now still in the 8th end, it's Jones with hammer, facing 1, needs full 4-foot to score the deuce. And the 6-time Scotties champ gets the shooter to stick. Jones pulls out in front 6-5. To the 9th, Walker down 1 and facing 1. Check out this shot. Gets it by the guard, makes the angle raise to score the deuce. Team Walker takes the lead heading to the 10th. So in the 10th end, it's Jones with hammer, facing 2, needs to get the full 4-foot to stay alive, and the 2014 Olympic gold medalist gets it done. That ties it up, so we're off to an extra end. In the 11th, Walker has hammer, facing 3, and needs just a piece of the 4-foot for the win.
On that last
Give it a
one.
sec, give it a sec.
You hear Cameron said, let it go just a little bit. Don't overbrush it. Don't jump it. Now you got to get it to the 4. Got to get it to the 4. Listen to the crowd now. They're getting into it. McDonald, Scotland, get it to the 4. 4 only. 4 for the win. Did you overcook this? Did you overcook this? Did you? Yes, you did.
Walker comes up heavy. Jones steals the win. They take it 8-7 and improve to 3-0. Draw 6 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. Brad Jacobs' team looking to improve to 3-0, taking on Brendan Bottcher's rink. Scoreless in the 3rd end, second stones. How about this shot from Brad Thiessen? Makes all 3 red stones disappear and leaves 2 yellows. They blank the first 3 ends. Now in the 4th, Bottcher with hammer and shot stone, trying to tuck it in to score a pair, but can't get that red stone to move. Bottcher forced to a single. They're up 1-0. Next end, 3rd stones. Mark Kennedy's first shot, well, it's a beauty. Picks out that yellow stone to sit 4, so Jacobs' rink putting the pressure on. After Darren Moulding wiped out one of those reds, Kennedy's second shot comes up way too light. Leaves a double for Bottcher. Well, he'd make it and force Jacobs to blank. Then during the break, check this out. Jacobs has some words of encouragement for his 3rd. Will it all work out? In the 6th, Jacobs now with hammer, looking at a chance to score a pair, and he does. Uses the backing. Team Jacobs with the 2-1 lead. 8th end now tied at 2. Jacobs sitting 1 with hammer. Needs full 4-foot to score the deuce, and it's a great shot. Rubs the yellow stone and sits to score a pair. They take a 4-2 lead. Next end, Bottcher has first and second shot stones. Jacobs first without hammer. Runs it back, makes both yellow stones disappear to sit 2. What a shot. So now it's Bottcher with hammer, facing 1, trying to angle that Yellowstone back and score a pair, but misses it across the top. Jacobs steals a point. They go on to take it 5-2, and they improve to 3-0. Draw 7 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. Tracy Fleury looking to make it a 3-0 start, taking on Krista McCarville's rink. First end, Fleury applying the pressure early, with hammer facing 1, but looking at a hit to score 3, and she makes it. Fleury jumping out to a quick 3-0 lead. Next end, McCarville now with hammer, facing 1, looking for the hit to score the single. but the shooter spills too far. It's a steal of 1. Fleury up 4-0. Third end, McCarville again with hammer, this time facing 2, makes the hit, but one of the yellow stones hangs around. That is the 5th stolen end so far allowed by McCarville, the most in the field. Fourth end, McCarville in trouble again with hammer, facing 2, and comes up light. A steal of 2 makes it 7-0 for Fleury's rink. They go on to take it 9-2. Fleury's rink improves to 3-0.
With Tracy Fleury against Krista McCarville.
Draw 7 at the Tim Hortons curling trials. Jennifer Jones off to a scorching start, looking to improve to 4-0, taking on Casey Scheidegger's rink. Pick it up in the 4th end, tied at 2. Jones is last with hammer. Sitting 1, makes the hit and stick to score the deuce. Jones takes a 4-2 lead. In the 5th, third stones, Caitlin Laws goes through port, sneaks it by her own guard, gets the hit, and the roll under cover. What a shot by Laws. That would force Scheidegger to a single. Now skip to the 8th, Jones up 4-3. Scheidegger's last without hammer. Picks out the red stone to sit 2. What a shot. That puts the pressure on Jones.
I guess it's not as big a risk, but it
runs her own stone back and splits the yellows to score a pair. What a shot by the 2014 Olympic gold medalist. Her team jumps out to a 6-3 lead. They'd hang on and win it 7-5. Jennifer Jones's rink improves to 4-0 at the trials.
Draw 8 at the Tim Hortons curling trials, and what a dandy this was. 2006 Olympic champion Brad Gushue and his rink taking on 2014 Olympic champion Brad Jacobs and his team. Both are 3-0 so far in the event. Third end, Gushue's last without hammer, leading 1-0. Eyeing the hit and roll, and holy moly, what a shot from Gushue as it sits buried. That led to their field-leading 7th steal of the tournament. It is 2-0 Gushue. To the 4th, Jacobs in some trouble, facing a couple with his last with hammer. Needs a big one to not give up another steal by the guard, makes the hit, then taps that other red, and the shooter stays right there for shot Rocque. It's a single. It's 2-1 Gushue. 5th end, third stones, Mark Kennedy of the Jacobs team, facing 3. Raises in their own yellow, gets the granite moving off the center line. A fantastic curling shot. Mark Nichols would then miss, and Jacobs ended up getting out of a huge hole in this end and only give up 1 at the break. It's 3-1 Gushue. 6th end, Jacobs first with hammer, and this is a good one. Makes the hit and rolls over, and it doesn't leave a double. Gushue couldn't get a roll on his hit attempt, and Jacobs would hit and stick for 2. It's 3-3. On to the 7th, Gushue's first with hammer. After Jacobs made the draw to the edge of the 4-foot, Gushue answers right to the side of it and sits shot Rocque. Help lead to a pair. It is 5-3 Gushue. 9th end, Gushue up 5-4 and has the hammer, looking to get multiple points. Facing 1 and nearly put this one away. Makes the hit. The shooter rolls out, and when the yellow stone settles, it is just the 1, and Jacobs still in it. They trail 6-4. To the 10th, Jacobs first with hammer. Facing 3 Gushue stones. They need a pair to at least force an extra. Big weight shot, makes the double takeout, and nearly comes across for the triple. Nonetheless, it helped get them a pair. We needed an extra end. So 11th end we go. Gushue with hammer needs a little chunk of the 4-foot for the win and to stay undefeated.
The crowd responds here at Sasktel Center for the win.
And what a game it was between 2 heavyweight teams as Gushue stays undefeated. 7-6, the final. Draw 9 at the Tim Hortons curling trials. The 4-0 Jennifer Jones rink taking on back-to-back Scotties champion team, Carrie Einarson, and what a battle this was. First end, Einarson's last without hammer, already sitting 1, and Einarson makes the draw to the lid. Jones would crash on a guard. It's a steal of 2 to open this one up. Second end, Jones in some more trouble, trying the in-off, facing a couple. Can't get any of the yellows to go. It's another steal of 2, and Einarson up big early. Third end, Einarson's last without hammer, trying the slash to sit a few and continue to put the pressure on the Jones team.
Mayer, who's going to take this? Mayer will trying to save it. Get it by that one. Oh, what a shot!
How good is that?
And the Einarson rink coming in 2-2, looking sharp in this one. So now Jones trying to come through the port and get on the scoreboard. Clips the yellow, and the shooter spills too far. And it's another steal of two. It's 6-0 Einarson. After Jones scored 3 in the fourth, fifth end, Einarson a hit and stick around opportunity after Jones flashed on her first. And Einarson makes no mistake. She converts, and it's 8-3 Team Einarson at the break. To the sixth, Jones in her rink just won't go away. A double opportunity for 2, and to stay in the game through the port, and that is so good from the 6-time Scotties champion. That makes it 8-5. Eighth end, still 8-5. Einarson with hammer, facing 3 with her last. Needs the 4-foot 4-1, but that is very light. A steal of 3 for Jones. They have come all the way back to tie the game up at 8 apiece. Final end we go. Einarson now down 9-8 after Jones came in heavy on her last. Einarson a hit and stick around on that red rock on the left for 2 and the win.
Mayer is trying to hold it. Now Bottcher jumps on, trying to hold it for them. Play it straight back. Laws is out there just in case. Get to it. There's the win.
And what an unbelievable curling game. And it ends in Einarson taking down Jones. 10-9, the final. Tim Hortons Curling Trials, and it's a battle of Alberta. 1-3 Brendan Bottcher and his rink, taking on 2-1 Team Kevin Cooey. Third end, Team Cooey down 1-0 after a miss by Bottcher on a takeout attempt. Cooey, a chance for a couple, needs the 8-foot, and that is good as Cooey takes the lead. It's 2-1 through 3. To the fourth end, and a couple beauties by the skippers. First up, Cooey, his last without hammer. Comes off his own, makes the hit, touches the other red back, and when it settles, Cooey is second shot. So now Bottcher, electing to draw for his 2. Needs a huge chunk of the 4-foot, comes in, and that is lovely draw weight. The Bottcher rink picks up the pair. They retake the lead. It's 3-2. In the fifth, Bottcher's last without hammer. Eyeing the thin double, and that is a big-time miss as the rock flashes, sails right through the rings. Cooey would go on to draw for 3, and at the break, it's 5-3 Cooey. To the 6th end, third stones, Team Bottcher's Darren Moulding's last, facing a couple. Comes right down to that Cooey rock, and after a couple of Cooey misses, Bottcher would answer with a 3, and it's 6-5 Bottcher. To the 8th end, same score, Bottcher's last without hammer. Eyeing down another double, but this time crashes into the guard, and Cooey would go on to get 3, and they go on top 8-6 with a couple ends to go. 9th end, Cooey's last without hammer, and this is a beauty by the skip. Doubles off the reds, and when everything settles, it's Cooey sitting 3. They force in the end, and coming home, they have hammer, leading by 1. Final end we go. Cooey just make that red rock go away in the rings for the win. And Cooey makes no mistake as they take it 9-7 the final, and the Cooey rink improves to 3-1 on the tournament, while Bottcher now at 4 losses in the event.
Draw number 11 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. Tracy Fleury's rink is the only undefeated team left in the women's field, taking on Jacqueline Harrison's rink. Second end, Harrison down 2-zip, has a chance for a couple, chips that red stone away, and gets the shooter to stay there for 2. That ties it up. Fourth end, Fleury up 3-2. Her last without hammer, facing 1. Nice draw to sit shot rock and buried. That was the stolen point in the end. Fleury leads by 2 and applying the pressure in the 5th. Harrison facing 3 Fleury stones with hammer, needs a big-time hit and stick for the single, gets by the guard, makes the hit, and the shooter is the shot rock. Harrison would get one back. 7th end, Fleury up 5-3. Harrison's last with hammer, goes through port, wipes out the red stone and scores a pair. Great shot, ties it up at 5. 10th end, Fleury now up by 1. Harrison's last with hammer, facing 2, needs the hit and stick to score the single, and we're headed to an extra end. In the 11th, Fleury with hammer, needs to make that yellow disappear for the win.
Trying to lock up at least a tiebreaker if she can pull out the win here. In a 6-6 tie, final stone, Tracy Fleury, Liz Fife, Kristen McCush trying to hold it. Here comes that guard. Here it comes. Can you save it for the skipper? Oh, goodness, you did. Oh, my, what a shot.
Fleury just gets it by the guard, makes the hit to score 3. With the win, she's now 5-0 and guaranteed at least a tiebreaker. Draw 12 at the Tim Hortons curling trials. Kevin Cooey taking on Mike McEwen. Opening end, second stones. Derek Samagalski's second shot. He makes the triple. All 3 yellow stones disappear. What a shot. It's scoreless after 1. Next end, Cooey's rink applying the pressure again. Sitting 2. This time it's third stones. Reed Carruthers' first shot, and it's another beauty. Run back double wipes out both yellows. McEwen's team would score 2 in the end and take the lead. In the third, Cooey with hammer, sitting 1. A chance to score a deuce, but looking at a tight window. And the 4-time Brier champ goes around the Reds, gets it to sit in time. That ties it up. Fifth end, Cooey now trailing by 1. His first with hammer, facing 1, angles his own back for shot Rocque. That would lead to a deuce as Cooey grabs a 4-3 lead. After the break, McEwen's last with hammer, sitting 1, trying to chip that Yellowstone out and score 2, but can't push it far enough. McEwen settles for the single, it's 4-all. And Cooey would take full advantage. His last with hammer in the 7th, goes around the guard, makes the hit to score a pair. The 2018 Olympian jumps out in front. But in the 8th, it's McEwen with some magic of his own. His last with hammer, facing 1, angles his own back, picks out that yellow stone to score the single, avoids giving up a crucial steal, and pulls within 1. 9th end, Cooey with hammer, trying to chip that red stone away and take a commanding lead, but doesn't get enough of it. It's a steal of 1. McEwen ties it up at 6. So we head to the 10th. Cooey keeps hammer, McEwen has shot Rocque. Cooey needing full 4-foot for the win, and indeed, he makes no mistake. Cooey nails it. They take it 7-6. Cooey's rink is now 4-1 at the trials.
And Jennifer trying to punch her ticket directly into the playoffs. Would love that bye right to the final stone on the way.
Tough shot. She's trying to remove a couple of the Homan stones to bring her own into play.
Oh my goodness, gets the catcher, shooter sticks around. What a 2. Make it 3. That one up top as well. Wow. So 3 for Jennifer Jones.
Great shot.
Tim Hortons curling trials, draw 13. Tracy Fleury and her undefeated 5-0 rink taking on Laura Walker, one of 5 teams entering the draw with 3 losses. First end, Fleury with hammer, a chance at maybe getting a couple. Tap that yellow on the button away and pick up the 2, but that's light. So they decide to measure, and Kristen McCush didn't hear that and moves the rocks away, so now there is no measurement, and Walker gets a single point in the end. Second end, and the Fleury rink trying to shake things off from that previous end. Second stones, Liz Fife eyeing the double takeout, and Fife makes it, and Team Fleury sitting 3, and that is what they scored in the end. It is 3-1, Team Fleury. Third end, third stones, Team Walker's Kate Cameron, and this is a beauty. Gets the red granite moving, takes out the one on the button as well, opens it right up, gets him out of some trouble, and Team Walker would go on and get a pair, and it is tied at 3. Fifth end, Walker down 4-3. After a great draw on her first, an opportunity for a deuce, and another beauty by Walker as they pick up the pair, and halfway home, it is 5-4 Walker. Sixth end, Walker's last without hammer, looking to limit the damage and not give up multiple points, and oh, a costly mistake as it crashes into the guard, only able to remove 1 Fleury stone. That leaves the door open for another 3 spot for Fleury. Fleury drawing and to score the 3 points. And that is great weight. Fleury scores 3, and they are now 4 ends away from booking their spot in the playoffs. 7th end, Walker's first, facing 3. Fleury rocks, and this is a dandy by Walker. Makes the hit and gets the rollover and nudges the other Fleury rock back. It helps set up a deuce, and it's tied at 7 with 3 ends to go. To the 8th, after a miss by Walker, Fleury can get a couple. A hit and stick around on shot stone. Great scrub there, and the shot is made. Fleury back on top of this wild one, 9-7. 9th end, Walker, a hit and stick for a single. Facing 2, and another miss from Walker. Shooter rolls away, and it is a steal of 1. And coming home, Fleury leads by 3. Ein down, a playoff spot. Final end, Walker with hammer. A tough double and stick around for 3, and to send it to an extra, but Walker cannot convert. Fleury takes it, and they are off to the playoffs, clinching their spot. 11-7, the final. Draw 14 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. A huge game as a pair of 3 and 2 rinks going head to head between John Epping and the Mike McEwen rink. Second end, no score. Team McEwen facing 3. Third stones. Reed Carruthers with a beauty. Makes the double and is buried. Help get them out of trouble. They only gave up 1 in the end. It is 1-0 Epping. Fourth end, still 1-0. Epping's last without hammer, facing 1. Looking to come right down to the McEwen rock. And this is fantastic. Great touch, and they force McEwen to 1 in the end. And it's tied at 1 through 4. 6th end, still 1-1. Second stones. Team McEwen's Derek Semigalski. And this is a dandy. Makes the run back double. A terrific shot, and for the 4th time in the game, an end went on to blank. 8th end, and what a pivotal moment of this game. McEwen down 2-1. His first with hammer, facing a couple. By the guard, and makes the hit, and is sitting buried. A great shot by McEwen. So now, here is Epping, his last, and what a big miss as it flashes, missing the McEwen stone, and that leaves the door open for a big score. So now McEwen, an open hit and stick for 3, and to go on top by 2.
Epping flashing with his last. Leads to this is Semigalski. Keeps it clean all the way down. And there it is. 1, 2, 3.
Just like that, it is 4-2 for the McEwen rink. 9th end, Epping's first with hammer. A double opportunity to sit 3 and bury. Gets 1 to go, but oh, can't get the other. And now McEwen can put the pressure on Epping. So McEwen going with the draw, and that is lovely. They are now sitting first and second, maybe looking to put this thing away. So here we go, Epping with hammer, trying the tough raise double takeout. Cannot convert. It was a steal of 2 for the McEwen rink, and that was it. Handshakes as McEwen takes it 6-2 the final, improving to 4-2 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials.
It's a rematch of the Scotties final. After a 1-4 start at the trials, Rachel Homan can stay alive with a win against Carrie Einarson and a loss from Krista McCarville. Some drama in the opening end. Homan's last with hammer. Facing 1, trying to draw for a piece of the button, and it's awfully close, but just good enough for the single. Homan's rink goes up 1-0. Third end, now tied at 1. Homan with hammer, facing 1, only needs a piece of the 8-foot, but the 2017 Trials champion comes up light. It's a steal of 1. Carrie Einarson takes a 2-1 lead. Next end, Einarson applying the pressure, sitting 2, Homan with hammer, but crashes into the guard. One of the red stones hangs around. It's another stolen point. Einarson up 2. In the 6th, third stones, Emma Miskew's second shot goes through a tight port, nearly makes the triple, but still an incredible double by Miskew, and that would pay off big time. Homan's last with hammer now, sitting 1, runs her own stone back, perfect touch to score the deuce. Homan battles back to tie it up. Next end, Einarson with a chance to get that 2-point cushion right back, with hammer sitting 1, and the reigning Scotties champ making no mistake. Back and forth they go. It's 5-3 Einarson. Now skip to the 8th. Homan down 2, with hammer, facing 2, but has a chance to tie it up. But the 3-time Scotties champ leaves it short. It's a steal of 2 for Einarson. She'd go on to take it 7-6. Homan suffers her 5th loss at the trials, meaning her run is over.
Tim Hortons Curling Trials, draw 16, 4-2 Mike McEwen rink, taking on 5-1 team Brad Jacobs. If Jacobs wins, they are in the playoffs. Second end, Jacobs down 2-0. Jacobs with hammer, facing 4 reds. Needs a big time shot. Full 4-foot for the single, and look at this touch. Just wonderful, just a beauty from Jacobs. They get a single, it's 2-1. To the third we go. Jacobs facing 1 with his last without hammer. Eyeing the raise takeout and roll the shooter in and put the force on. And that is so good from the 2014 Olympic champion. McEwen forced to a single. It is 3-1. Fourth end, third stones. Team Jacobs is Mark Kennedy. Team already sitting 1. And Kennedy makes a brilliant freeze right down to their own. Sitting 2 and buried. McEwen would miss a triple on his last. Jacobs scored 3 in the end, and they go on top. Fifth end we go. Jacobs facing 2 with his last without hammer. Eyeing the hit and roll, and that is a dandy by Jacobs. After a miss by McEwen, it was a steal of 1. 5-3 Jacobs at the break. Sixth end, McEwen with hammer, going with the draw for 2 instead of a very, very tough double for 3. Needs a good piece of the 4-foot, but oh, cannot make it. The McEwen rink settles for a single. It is 5-4 Jacobs. Seventh end we go, McEwen without hammer, trying the hit and roll to steal or force, but oh, nails it on the nose, setting up Jacobs for a 2. Here is McEwen after the shot.
Everything's off by just a tiny bit today.
Yeah, it's all good, bud.
Just one of those games for McEwen as Jacobs made the hit and stick for 2. It is 7-4. After Jacobs made a raised takeout to force McEwen in the 8th. McEwen's last here in 9, trying the double takeout. Oh, misses the back yellow, and now Jacobs has a chance to draw for a couple. So now, here we go. Jacobs for the pair needs some of the button.
Line's perfect. No
little bit of room.
Sweep for T.
Hey, it's real close.
Line's perfect.
Line's good. Curling nice.
Already has one in his back pocket.
Go, EJ. Go, go, go.
The Harndons final scrubs. How good is that? Draw weight, 2 on the board. Lovely from Brad Jacobs.
Jacobs makes it, and that was it. Handshakes. The Jacobs rink clinches a playoff spot at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. 9-5, the final.
Let's go over to Casey Scheidegger with against Rachel Homan. After Homan stole 2, final on the way for Scheidegger.
Well, Casey drew into the button to lie 3 on her first, and trying to follow her, Rachel Homan ticked on the guard. And so it is an opportunity for 4. Does need to touch one of the Homan stones back just to get a piece of the white. And there you have it.
Wow.
4 on the button.
Yeah,
very nice. You wouldn't think there's enough room. So Scheidegger in a must-win, then of course hoping for an Einarson loss.
Final women's round-robin draw at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. With a win, Carrie Einarson in her rink would book a spot in the playoffs, facing Team Kelsey Rocque. Second end, Rocque down 1-zip. Third stones, Danielle Schmeeman for Team Rocque. And look at this, through the port, makes the hit and gets the roll buried and into the 4-foot, biting the button. What a great shot. Rocque made a great freeze to force in the first. With hammer here, a chance for a pair. Can use the backing in the 8-foot, and that shot is made. Rocque gets the 2 points. They lead 2-1. Third end, Einarson team looking for a pair right back. Einarson has a draw, just needs to bite the 8-foot. That one comes in heavy and does not stop. A huge missed opportunity. Einarson settles for 1. It's tied at 2. Fifth end, Einarson down 3-2, second stones, Shannon Burchard. And this is a dandy, makes the hit and gets the roll buried. Really helps set up the end for Team Einarson. Let's skip ahead to skip stones. Einarson, draw to the full 12, bite the 8-foot for the pair. Let's see if the Brushers can get it there.
Here they go, Mayer, Bottcher. Oh boy, here you go. Need a little, we need full 12. And there it is. Great brush. Mayer and Bottcher.
Wow, what a scrub. Einarson leads 4-3 at the break. Let's skip ahead to the 8th. Tied at 4. Rocque's first without hammer. Eyeing the draw. Come right down to that Einarson Rocque in the back 4. Comes up a little light, but it is still shot Rocque. After Einarson didn't remove it on her first, Rocque put a guard up. Einarson eyeing the in-off on the red rock on the far left for multiple points.
Staying with it. No, nothing, nothing, nothing. No, coming across, kick it! Oh, and not far enough.
So close, but it is a steal of 1. Rocque leads 5-4 with a couple ends to go. 9th end, Einarson facing 1, trying another in-off and get a couple. But that Rocque flashes, doesn't even catch a piece. Another steal for Rocque. They take a 2-point lead coming home. Final end. Rocque now up 6-4, her last without hammer. Gets the stone by the guards, picks away the Einarson shot Rocque, a beauty there. Einarson will now have to attempt a very difficult angle raise, double takeout to tie it up. So here we go to force an extra end, and Einarson cannot make it. They drop to a 4th loss. Team McCarville in the stands loving it as they make it to a tiebreaker. Team Rocque takes it 8-4, the final. Tim Hortons Curling Trials, draw 18. Mike McEwen rink needs a win to stay alive. Team Brad Gushue, a win, and they secure top spot. Second end, McEwen down 1-0. Has hammer, needs the button for a single, and this is wonderful touch. A great shot by McEwen, evens it up at 1 apiece. Fourth end, still 1-1 after a Reed Carruthers Rocque picked. Later in the end, McEwen facing 3 with his first without hammer. Makes the brilliant double takeout, and the Rocque nearly stayed buried. That limited the damage as Gushue only got 2 in the end. Fifth end, Gushue's last without hammer, facing 1. And this is so good. Picks the McEwen Rocque away. Gushue only gave up a single in the end. It's 3-2 Gushue at the break. Seventh end, Gushue up 3-2. A well-played end. Third stones. Team Gushue's Mark Nichols. How about this run back? Just a beauty. Opens up the center line. Nichols would also make a double on his last, and the end went on to blank. Gushue retains hammer, leading by 1. Eighth end, and an unlucky break for McEwen on his last without hammer as the Rocque picks, and the shooter jiggles around the stones in the house, but it left Gushue with a chance for multiple points. So here we go with Gushue, a chance to score as many as 3.
Yellow onto red, make them go away, bring the 2 around the edge of the 4 into play. Gallant stays with it, bang, bang, around, oh, and he may have gotten his 3.
Team Gushue pops a 3, they are in full control, up 6-2. Ninth end, McEwen eyeing the double with hammer and get within a pair, coming home.
So thin, just almost air. Oh, he's got it!
Brilliant
Magic Mike picks up his deuce.
Just an incredible shot by McEwen to cut into the lead, and even Gushue acknowledges that one. Final end, third stones, Gushue's Nichols again. And this is a dandy. Runs a McEwen guard back and removes all the McEwen rocks from the house. Just a beauty there by Nichols. The Gushue rink went on to win this one and clinch a spot in Sunday's final. 6-4 the final, while Kevin Cooey meets Brad Jacobs in the semi.
Tiebreaker number 1 at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. The reigning Scotties champ Kerri Einarson will need to win 3 straight on Saturday to get to Sunday's final. First up, taking on Casey Scheidegger's rink. Opening end, skip stones. Scheidegger's first with hammer. Facing 1, just nicks the yellow, sails through the rings. A tough start for Scheidegger. So now facing 2 with hammer. Scheidegger, feeling the pressure early, comes up with a great shot, taps the Yellowstone back and scores a single. Scheidegger's rink takes the 1-0 lead. In the third, Scheidegger's last without hammer, trying to do some damage control while facing 3, but can't get it by her own guard. The redstone doesn't spill far enough into the rings, so that leaves Einarson with a chance to put up a big score. Needs to get it to the 8-foot and just gets enough. Einarson with a 4 spot, she takes a 4-1 lead. Next end, Scheidegger facing some pressure again, this time with hammer and facing 3, needs a piece of the forefoot, and this time gets it by the guard, gets it to sit and score the single. Scheidegger closing the gap, it's 4-2. To the 6th, Scheidegger's first without hammer, facing 1, angles her own stone back, wipes out the yellow, and rolls under cover. Great shot from Scheidegger, and that would pay off. Einarson's last now with hammer, facing 2. Can't make the nose hit, the shooter spills too far. A steal of 1, and Scheidegger pulls within 1. 8th end, 3rd stones. Carrie Ann McTaggart's first shot, facing 2, and makes the double to sit 2. A terrific shot. So still in the 8th, Einarson's last with hammer. Instead of the blank, she elects to take the single, only needs full 12 foot, and she makes it. Einarson takes a 2-point lead. 9th end, Einarson has shot stone, Scheidegger's last with hammer. Able to sneak it by her own guard, pushes the Yellowstone out the back. A massive 3-spot for Scheidegger. She takes her first lead since being up 1-0. In the 10th, Einarson with hammer needs to make that red stone disappear, and the 2-time Scotties champ picks it away. That scores 2 for the win. Einarson walks it off with a 7-6 victory. She'll face Krista McCarville in tiebreaker number 2 for a spot in the semis. Tiebreaker number 2 at the Tim Hortons curling trials. Carrie Einarson taking on Krista McCarville. The winner faces Jennifer Jones in the semifinal. Pick it up in the 5th, still scoreless. McCarville sitting 1. Her last with hammer, needs to get it to the button for the deuce, but comes up short. McCarville settles for the single. It's 1-0. Next end, Einarson's last with hammer, sitting 1. Needs full 8 foot to score the deuce, and the 2-time Scotties champion makes no mistake. Einarson's ring grabs a 2-1 lead. To the 8th, McCarville sitting 2. Einarson's last without hammer, but jams it. Can't wipe out that second yellow stone, and that leaves the door open for McCarville. Her last now with hammer shows off the nice touch. Great draw weight to score a pair. McCarville's ring jumps out in front, 3-2. 10th end, Einarson has shot Rocque. McCarville's last without hammer, but can't get it by her own guard. A crucial mistake. So now it's Einarson, just needing a piece of the forefoot to book her spot in the semifinal, but Einarson misses that red stone, slides too far. It's just a single, so McCarville gets hammer for the extra end. An 11th end is needed to determine who advances to the semis. Here's Einarson with her last. It's McCarville with shot stone. Einarson makes the hit to sit 2, putting some pressure on her opponent with 1 rock to go. So now McCarville with hammer needs to be shot stone for the win, gets it by the guard, wipes out a pair of reds, and gets the shooter to stick. Einarson is eliminated. McCarville's rink moves on to face Jennifer Jones for a spot in Sunday's final.
Men's semifinal at the Tim Hortons curling trials. Brad Jacobs, who won Olympic gold in 2014, and his rink facing 2017 trials winner Kevin Gushue and his team. 3rd end, no score. Cooey's last without hammer, in some trouble, but with a great draw can maybe take the end away from a big Jacobs score. It comes in heavy, and oh no, right to the back of the forefoot, and that is trouble for Gushue. Jacobs now with a chance to put up a huge score with hammer, trying to double off the Regs.
Brian Harden. Curl up, come across, and it is! Count them up! 1, 2, 3, 4. Jacobs here in the 3rd.
Just an absolute pistol by Jacobs. A brilliant shot. They score 4, and that opens the scoring. To the 4th end, Jacobs last without hammer, eyeing the double takeout, and Jacobs is money again. Just incredible. Gushue would miss on a blank attempt. Gushue got a single. It is 4-1 Jacobs. 5th end, Gushue shot Rocque and buried, and this is another good one from Jacobs. By the Rocque in the 12-foot, makes the takeout, and Jacobs maybe eyeing another big score. So now Gushue with his last without hammer, His comes in and it is shot Rocque, but it left Jacobs with another opportunity to score 4 points. So here we go. Jacobs, the little in-off, and get as many as 4, an inch closer to the trials final.
Already scored a 4. Bang, come across. Yes, it is. Count them up again. 4 more.
Unbelievable. Another 4 spot for the Jacobs rink. And at the break, they led 8-1, and they went on to take it 8-3 the final, and they will meet Team Brad Gushue in Sunday's final. Tim Hortons Curling Trials Women's Semifinal. Krista McCarville finished 3rd at the 2009 trials. Her team facing 2014 Olympic gold medalist Jennifer Jones and her rink. Jones from Winnipeg, and the Jets tweeting out that they're taking in some of the action ahead of their game against the Flames in Calgary. Opening end we go. Jones facing a couple with hammer. Needs the button for a single. And how nice is that? Really great draw weight there. Team Jones gets a single. It is 1-zip. Third end, same score. McCarville with hammer, facing a couple. Eyeing the tap back on their own for a single. And oh, makes it. What a dandy that was as the Rocque stops in time at the back of the forefoot for 1. That evens it up at 1 apiece. Fourth end, Jones, a chance for a couple. Draw to a huge piece of the 8-foot. Caitlin Laws comes out to help rush it, but oh, can't get it there. That is light. Jones settles for 1. It's 2-1. Fifth end, Jones last without hammer. Already sitting 1. And Laws back out to brush it. Able to get it there for second shot and maybe a chance at a steal. So now McCarville drawing against a couple. Needs the bunt for 1. Full 8 would limit the damage. But that is light. It's a steal of 2 for Jones. It's 4-1 at the break for the Jones team. 6 and we go. And a chance for McCarville to get back in it for multiple points after Jones missed on her last. McCarville trying to double off the yellow.
Stay with it. Get it by. That one coming up. Stay by. Get by. What do you got?
Go, 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 go.
Oh, they get their deuce.
A huge shot there. They get the pair, and McCarville back in it, down 4-3. Eighth end, third stones, still 4-3 for the Jones team. Caitlin Laws eyeing down the double takeout, and that is a great shot from Laws. It helped lead to a pair in the end as she makes the double takeout. Team Jones back on top by 3. Ninth end, McCarville facing a couple with her last. Has the hammer, trying to angle in her guard to score multiple points, but cannot make it. It is a steal of 2 for Team Jones, and they would go on to win it. Team Jones advances to Sunday's final, where they will face Team Tracy Fleury.
An all-Manitoba final at the Tim Hortons Curling Trials. Jennifer Jones looking to get back to the Olympics for a second time. Tracy Fleury, she's undefeated so far at the trials. Fleury gets hammer for the opening end, facing 1 with her last, looking at a hit to score a pair, but she rolls off her own stone and spills too far. A steal of 1 gives Jones the early lead. So Fleury keeps hammer, looking at a busy house with her last, again facing 1, and Fleury, with perfect draw weight, gets it to sit down in time. That ties it at 1. Third end, Jones is first with hammer, a chance to sit 3 and apply the pressure, but the 2014 Olympic gold medalist misses everything right through the rings. How costly would that missed point be? Well, Jones now with her last, makes the hit to score the deuce. She jumps out in front by 2, but it could have been 3. Next end, Fleury has hammer, sitting 1, her first shot, wipes out that yellow stone and sits 2. They'd score the deuce and tie it up at 3. In the fifth, Fleury threatening, sitting 4, third stones. Check out this shot from Caitlin Laws. Makes 3 yellows go away and gets the shooter to stick around for shot stone. That would force Fleury to a blank. Sixth then, Jones has shot Rocque, but Fleury has 2, 3, and 4. Jones is first, just squeezes it in there to sit 2. What a shot by Jones. Fleury would wipe out that Rocque with her last, so Jones now with her last needs full 4-foot to score a pair. Has some backing, but she goes off her own Rocque, and the shooter spills too far. Awfully close. They'd go for a measurement, and indeed, it is just 1 red. Jones leaves another point on the board. It's 4-3 after 7. Fleury would tie it up with a single in the 7th, so 4 all in the 9th. Fleury's first without hammer, already sitting 2. Terrific draw to sit 3, putting the pressure on Jones. So now it's Jones with her last. Facing 2, elects to give up a steal of 1, pushes one of those yellows away. Jones keeps hammer for the 10th, down 5-4. 10th end we go. Fleury has shot stone, and it's Jones looking to score a deuce for the win.
Jennifer Jones has been here before. It was 13 in Winnipeg. McEwen, Peterman, staying on this. You can't roll away here. Staying on this. Oh, and it will roll too far.
Wow.
Oh my, that's unbelievable.
Jones unable to capitalize with her final rock, and for the first time in trials history, the final is headed to an extra end. In the 11th, it's Fleury with hammer, facing 1, needs to be shot stone for a trip to Beijing.
Just hack.
Fight. McCush. Wade is good. Oh, here comes. It's starting to go. They got to get it by that guard. This is a huge scrub. Get it by that guard. Get it by. No, they will not. Jennifer Jones will go for gold again.
Fleury crashes into the guard. A heartbreaking loss after going undefeated heading into the final. Jones becomes the first skip to win the Canadian trials twice. She heads to Beijing in search of a second Olympic gold medal.
Men's final at the Tim Hortons curling trials and a battle of Olympic gold medalists. Brad Gushue won gold in 2006. Brad Jacobs won gold in 2014. The winner to Beijing. First and third stones, Team Jacobs, Mark Kennedy facing a couple. Eyeing the raised double, and what a start to this one. Kennedy makes it. The end went on to blank, and it's zeros after 1. Let's skip ahead all the way to the 6th end, 2-1 Gushue after Jacobs. A nice hit and roll to 6-shot Rocque. Gushue's last without hammer, and he hits the Rocque away. The 6th end went on to blank. It remains 2-1 Gushue. 7th end, second stones. Team Jacobs, E.J. Harnden, his first Rocque of the end. And this is a dandy. Makes a double takeout. Team Jacobs now sitting 3. Very next shot, Team Gushue's Brett Gallant. And he makes the raised double. Nearly went through the port. Mark Nichols made a double as well. And this end went on to blank. It remains 2-1 Gushue with 3 ends to go. 8th end, Gushue's first without hammer. And this is a beauty, a great scrub. Makes the hit and stick, and Gushue and his rink force Jacob to a single in the end. It is tied at 2. 9th end, third stones, Team Gushue's Nichols. Team already with a couple in the rings, and Nichols makes the hit on the Jacobs Rocque, and there's a roll too. The Gushue team now has 3 in the rings. So let's skip ahead to skip stones. Gushue with hammer, eyeing a couple of points, needs the hit and stick, and that is money by Gushue. And going to the final end, Gushue leads 4-2. 10th end, and Jacobs has a chance to tie it up. A hit and stick around on the red Rocque for 2.
Has to curl a mile. Has to curl a mile.
Has to curl a mile. Here's Harden. Can you help this over? Stay with it. Watch the roll. Look out. Oh, and the roll too far. Brad Gushue.
And the shooter rolls too far. Team Gushue wins the game. They are going to Beijing. And 16 years ago when Gushue won the trials, they sported orange jerseys just like this time around. They take it 4-3, the final over Jacobs.
The Olympic trials have come to an end. Our country's best battled it out for 9 days, and what a battle it was. In other countries, you get selected. However, that's not the case here. In Canada, you fight just to get here. And when you arrive, you fight with everyone else just to have a chance. To earn your spot here in Saskatoon takes a lifetime of work, a lifetime of perfecting your game, a lifetime of learning. The Canadian Olympic Curling Trials might just be the toughest event in the world. Simply put, there are no days off, no easy games to circle on that schedule. No other country in the world could host such an event. It just wouldn't be possible. In many ways, it is the perfect test for the Olympics themselves. Imagine if we could send 3 teams to the Olympics. It might just be a podium filled with red and white. But alas, that's not the case. For 9 days, the very best in our country have battled, trying to prove that they are the ones worthy of representing our country. And we now have 2 very worthy teams to call our own. Congratulations to our newest Olympians. We know you will represent all of us with skill, talent, and ability. We also know, and most importantly, you will represent all of us with pride. So go Canada, go! We can all say that with pride. Go on and make us proud. We will be cheering you every step of the way.